Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday. It is almost noon. I'm Noelle Gatz. I'm your host of Heart Home Harmony Live. Awesome conversations with awesome creative people in one way or another. And today we have Rasheeda Gray. She's coming very shortly. A really illustrious bio. We're going to talk about this, but I do not understand how she gets everything done that she gets done. I do not. I am known for being, okay, I shouldn't say this about myself, but sometimes I call myself a little bit mediocre on purpose. I just can only handle so much. And Rasheeda is a rock star, so I cannot wait for her to join us. But yes, again, I'm Noelle Gatz. I own an interior design studio up here in northern New Jersey, New York City area. I'm an HGTV host and designer. And I love talking to these wonderful creative people. So right now, I'm about to welcome and invite Miss Rasheeda Gray. Her amazing career. So hopefully she sees my invite and she joined.
Hi, Noelle.
Oh, look at your glasses. You're so cool.
Oh, listen, I love your whole look today. You look
Thank you.
beautiful.
I'm very professional
I
today. I've got
love it.
tweed. I'm trying to rent the runway. Yeah.
Yes. I did rent the one runway for a while, and I've been thinking about bringing it back. So
I
I'm
think
with you
there
on that.
are seasons when you need it, right? Like High Point Market's coming up. When you have all these events, which you have ridiculous amounts of events. We need to dive in. So
Yes.
Rasheeda is here. Rasheeda Gray of Gray Space and Tears with her amazing also backdrop.
Thank you for
Oh
having
my
me, Noelle.
gosh, I love this. So I wanted to tell everyone how we met. So I don't know if you remember, but it was at Luann's live
I
conference.
do
What year
remember.
was that?
2000.
Was it 2018? 19?
2019, I think.
Okay. So
The pandemic makes things seem so long ago. So, yes,
it's true. And also, I have the worst memory ever.
me too.
So I usually have to look at things. Oh, hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. Let us know where you're from if you want. We have a Philly girl here in Rasheeda, and she's just
Drop your
throwing her phone around.
phone.
We're going to see inside her purse. She's just.
There we go.
um, right now, guys, I can't answer questions about any. All I know is our show is on Max and Discovery Plus, and so are some of Rasheeda's
I
episodes.
love your show, by the way. I
Thank you so much.
love it.
We
It's
love what we
amazing.
do.
Yes.
I mean, I'm
Yes.
unabashedly enthusiastic. I'll say that. Um,
Oh, that's amazing.
And yours too. You've been featured on TV shows as well. You have so much going on. Um, I I need to just figure out. So we met at Luann Live.
Yes.
I met some of my lifelong colleagues and friends there. Beth Smith has
Yes.
become a very close friend.
It was such an amazing event. And we met, and I met, same thing. I met a few other designers, and it was just like a community was created at
Yeah.
that event. So it was
And I
really,
have to
really
say,
good.
you were at a very pivotal point in your
I
career.
was.
I
Yeah.
remember distinctly you saying, like, I have still a full-time job and I do
Yep.
this.
Yep.
And you were ready to go full-time into the design world. How did you find the strength to do that? You were in the corporate world. Part of her resume, y'all, she was a corporate big wig doing marketing and business development.
I quit with my phone.
Just
Sorry. Keep
hold it.
going.
Oh my God.
It's not working.
Don't
All right,
quit.
I'm
This is
gonna
kind
hold
of
it.
entertaining. It's like being
It's
on a
like all
roller
over the
coaster
place.
ride.
Do you want to see my
Woo!
office? It's a hot mess in here today, but
Oh my
yeah.
God, it looks great. Yeah, that
Thanks.
mine too. There's a reason it's focused here. You are not looking in the rest of this space. But how did you find the strength to do that?
Yeah.
To just dive in?
Yep. So thank you, Noelle, for that intro. Like you said, I spent actually almost 15 years in marketing and communications, and I did everything from like business development, and my last role was assistant vice president of
Oh,
marketing for a large insurance company. And I always felt like there was something missing, or I wasn't like working in my purpose. Like I wasn't connected to my
right.
work. So I don't know, I was having a midlife crisis early, but I really did like a deep dive, like what do I want to do? What do I love? And then that's where I was like, wait, I love to design and decorate. And at that time, I was doing a lot of DIY. And so that has evolved into like some soul searching. I posted a project on my personal Facebook page for family and friends, got like tremendous feedback and just that push that you needed to
That
like go ahead
validation.
and go for it. Yep. So that was in 2016. And shortly after I started the business, I did both
I know.
my corporate
I
job
don't know how you did that.
and I raised a family, but I didn't sleep.
I have that on here. It's
uh,
like plus the
yeah,
family.
it's insane. But I mean, I did that for 3 years, and then I came to a point where I had to ask myself, like, something has to give, better quality of life. Like, what do you
Mhm.
want? And the 3 years, I was able to prove to myself that I could replace my salary, and that we had a clientele and a book of business and a design firm, and that I could safely move into full time entrepreneurship.
Right.
And that was 6 months before the pandemic. So.
But then, but then everyone needed you.
Yeah, well, I didn't know. When the pandemic happened, I was like, what did I just
What
do?
did
I
I do?
let go
Right.
of my secure job and I let go of benefits. And like,
Yeah.
here we are in this unknown world. Like, no one knew. I mean, like, people were being sick left and right, couldn't understand what it was. And so I thought that, did I make the biggest mistake of my life? And then for us, it was like 3, 4 weeks later after the pandemic started, everyone was calling
Yeah.
like, I need to renovate my
Yeah.
house. So it worked out.
And I'm sure it gave you the fire you needed too to just know that you had to do it. I mean, there was no
Yeah,
more question. Like, you're just going to have to make it work. And I think
yeah.
you clearly have a great support system with your husband as well and your children. So you knew that, like, you had that strength for you, right?
Yeah, I did. And that was helpful in the process. I mean, as you know, entrepreneurship is full of ups and downs and high highs and low lows. But when you are working in your purpose, when you are tied to something greater than surface, like financial or external validation, when you're connected to something internal, it helps you to move through those
For sure.
uncertain times.
And I mean, it's got to be that your background helped you so much because you can do all the things you did in your old job,
Yeah.
but you're working for yourself. So you're also creating all of that, you're implementing all of that hard work and also getting to do the beautiful creative work that you want. I mean, I don't know how you did it all. I mean, clearly you have help now and you have a team behind you, which is
Yeah,
wonderful.
I mean, I like literally when I was working my corporate job, I was like, 9 to 5 at corporate, come home for 2, 3 hours and like cook dinner, say hi to the
Kids,
kids,
yeah.
do homework, and then, 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. I was building the business. So, and then there were other things I did, like, let's be honest, like I was able to be flexible in my career because I got to a level where I could get some flexibility, and so I worked from home
From
or I
home, right?
like had flexible schedule, and that helped too.
Because those
But
3 hours you would have been commuting or whatever,
yep,
you're able
yep,
to
yep.
put
y-
into work.
Yeah, and like you said, just building a village around you.
Yeah.
Like, the more I do this entrepreneurship thing, I realized that you have to have help. And that's on all levels. That's like with the children, that is like
Mhm.
in the business, hiring the right people, just all the things matter in order to do it. So, it was unsustainable, which is why I took the leap and made the decision to go full time. But it definitely was a journey that had a lot of help involved.
And the fact that you had to do it is, I think, a testament to your strength because some people are very fortunate. Maybe they're trust fund babies. I don't know. They
Yeah.
can just start their businesses. But
I bootstrapped,
and a
right from the
lot of
very
people, that's the
beginning.
story they don't tell at a lot of these design conferences and things.
Yep.
I find it wonderful when people can be really honest and say, everyone's story isn't that they just did it for fun until it got bigger, which is honestly kind of what I did, but I was a full-time
Yep.
parent. So, I mean, it wasn't for fun, but you know what I mean? I was very slow
Yes.
growing, but to show the story of somebody who really had to bring in income,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And had to maintain that income throughout
Yep.
the dreaming and the planning.
Yep.
So I'm assuming your corporate experience also gave you sort of like a way to plan, going to business school, knowing what you had to have in place.
Yeah. Yeah, to the income point, I just felt like I was in my mid 30s. I had 2 children. I had a mortgage. And although my husband is amazing and super
Yep.
supportive, like we've built a life
On
dependent
to
on two
income.
incomes.
Yeah.
And so it would have been irresponsible for me, in my opinion, to sort of make this jump without making sure that we can securely do so with minimal disruption to our life.
Right.
And so you're right, that was intentional. But my background in business, I have an MBA, which has been very helpful. And I thought, like, what in the world does marketing have to do with interior
Well,
design? And I said to myself, girl, you have gone to school for X number of years. You have all these degrees and all this student loan debt. And like, how does that relate to your new business? But I've since learned that those transferable skills that I have learned as a marketer and as someone in corporate America were intangible, like invaluable as I became an interior
oh yeah.
designer. Because what I'm learning is that my business is 75% of the business side of
Right.
it, and then 25% of the design piece.
Yeah.
And so I am an entrepreneur first. And so
Right.
those skills came in handy. And I feel like that can be true for so many people. Like if you're a nurse and you make a career transition to design, or you're a teacher, like there are skills that you learn in those careers that can be
Oh,
transferable in a
absolutely.
way.
I love that you brought that up. So I was in the
Mhm.
arts. I was an actor, and I was a
Yep.
working actor before I had children, and then after I had children for
Yep.
a little while. And almost in an alternate way, I think I naturally had some skills for business, but in other ways, I had to outsource that because what I
Yep.
was really good at was like the people and the communications and the art and the and all the design. I mean, which you're also very good at. But I where I
Oh,
struggled, I had to
thank
fill
you
those
too.
gaps.
Yeah, for sure. Like not even just leaning into the skills that you have, but like you said, hiring for people, whether it's like in the company or a subcontractor to help fill those
Yeah.
gaps.
Absolutely. And you've done it so beautifully. And the fact that your husband's sort of in a related field is wonderful. I know you guys have this dream and are building something together.
Yes,
That's
I'm
incredible.
blessed in that way that my husband is a GC. Um he also started out in another career and
Wow.
still has that business running. He's an insurance agent. But he and I have always done DIY together in our house. Like
Yeah.
I was like, Jake, I have this idea. Can you? And he's like, I don't know how to do that, but let me talk with my uncle or let me YouTube it and figure it out. So over the last 15 years, we've been DIYing together. We've invested in real estate together, and it just was a natural progression for him
Right.
to now get his GC license, and he
Amazing.
has built a team, which is very helpful for my design firm.
Oh, it's wonderful because having a great GC is everything. That's
Yes, it is.
the skill set and the project management that you need to like make sure everything's coming out beautifully that you've designed,
Yep.
right? Oh my gosh.
Big, big game changer.
So that's great advice that you've already given to people who might be thinking of a creative career. But
Yep.
is there like a checklist? I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot in this way. I mean, obviously I should have asked you ahead. Like write a checklist. But
Right.
you know, for somebody who's trying to think about going off on their own, um, I mean, for me, I always have advice for people. I was like things we maybe didn't think about that might
Uh-huh.
come up.
Yep.
What do you think? I think people need to be aware of how many hats they're going to wear. That's my biggest advice for people. Like before you pull the trigger on that, know that you're going to have to either fill those positions and pay someone, or you're going to have
Yep.
to do it all.
Yeah. I did it all for a while.
Yeah, I know.
I would say, what advice? I think one thing that I did that I don't think a lot of people think about when you're considering becoming an entrepreneur is I prepared not only financially but mentally as well. There isn't enough preparation in the world to prepare for this, but I had a business coach before I went full
Oh
time.
wow.
So, and that business coach also touched on like mindset. So, the year before I went full time, I wanted to prepare myself and save money. And then I hired this business coach, and we worked on things like my, like, my perspective on money and like what's my money story versus what my clients' money stories
Uh
are.
huh.
And like how I view money. Sometimes we view money as like a negative thing and we don't even realize that we do. And so that might show up as a designer and like, I'm not going to charge that much. Like, I love what I do. And I would do it for
Oh,
free.
I
So
was
I'm not going
guilty
to,
of that.
ooh, I did it a lot. I'm still working through that. And so I spent time with this business coach, um, tackling those challenges and mindset. And then also like building visibility was part of her branding. So I really think whatever gaps you feel overall in your life, because you come into entrepreneurship as a whole person. Like you come, it's not just like you go to work, because I did this, right?
Right.
Like I was almost a different Rashida at work than I was in the rest of my
Right.
life. Slightly different. And so in entrepreneurship, it's all you all the
Yeah.
time.
And you're
So
and you're the you answer to everything.
yes. So take care of you, like to prepare yourself mentally, whether that's a coach or a therapist, as much as possible before coming
I
to
think
entrepreneurship.
the
Probably
business
not what you were
no, but
expecting,
I
but
think it's
seriously life changing.
wonderful. Oh, I think it's wonderful because it's all encompassing, right? If you're going
Yep.
to the coach, then you're going to get this checklist. You're going to get
Yep.
these markers that they're aware of what it's going to take, understanding what you're diving into, and like you said, how to be a whole person and not to view. Oh gosh, I wish I'd known about not viewing money negatively. And still to this day,
Yep.
I do so many
I
pro bono and free. I've got to
know. I
stop. I
know. I
can't
know.
like.
I know. I will find myself like discounting invoices. Like,
I know
oh, I
why.
can't tell them that it took me 4 hours to find a sofa.
Well,
Like,
listen, in the beginning, I think that's fair, right? Because when we're first
yeah.
starting, I
Yeah.
considered it school.
Yep.
So it was like, you're paying me a little less because I'm like going to school while I'm learning.
Yeah.
I was very
Yep.
transparent about it.
Yeah.
And you
Same.
feel like that's good
Yeah,
too, right?
my hourly rate was not, it was like a third of what it is now when I first
Yeah.
started out. And I also like the fact that I always said my full-time job in corporate was my investor, my first investor in my business. Because whatever money I made in the business, I just sort of refunneled back into it because I
Yeah.
had the corporate salary. So yeah, I
You
think that
built a strong
there's
foundation.
there's a cost for learning and growing and
Sure.
yeah, going
And there's
along the
probably
journey.
opportunities for young business people to also seek some financial assistance, maybe if they need to, like grants and things like that.
Yeah, it is. I will say it's very difficult to get. I mean,
It's a whole
I don't
job
know. We want to
to
get,
get that, right?
yeah, to get credit cards for a business is not extremely difficult if your personal credit's together, but to get like really substantial loans, that is, I mean, we
Yeah.
just closed on a loan not too long ago. I was like, I'm signing away my
Yeah.
firstborn. Like, this is like buying a
And
house.
you're an established
8 years. eight
business
years.
owner who pays
Yeah.
your bills.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, it is a journey, and it's something that you need to be prepared for, not
Different
only
for everyone.
financially but
Yeah.
mentally as well.
Well, I just am astonished with what you do. I mean, not only do you do all these things, you received accreditation through Temple
Yeah.
University, also to get a certificate. You
Yeah.
are part of an organization that gives back to the community, a sorority. Is that since you were in college, or is
Oh,
yeah?
thank you for bringing that up.
I
That's a
love
huge part
that.
of who I am. So I'm a part of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and we are a historically Black sorority. I'm part of the Divine Nine, which is the nine
Yes.
historically Black sororities and fraternities. In existence since 1913, and I became a Delta in what we call a grad chapter.
Okay.
So I was in my mid 20s.
Wow.
I already graduated college and then went back to pledge to service sorority. So,
You have a sister
um,
here.
yeah.
Somebody's a sister here.
Oh, I am not able to see the comments.
Oh, well, that's okay. Later you'll
Oh,
see it. Elaine For
oh,
God is a hey. She says, "Hey, Sorer," which means
hey,
sister.
sir.
Um, I
That's
love that, and
amazing.
that's community driven. I mean, you're
Yeah.
really constantly giving back to the community and trying to grow and sustain and support new talent,
Yep.
future, the futures of many
Yeah.
people.
My heart in terms of service lies with the
Yeah.
youth. And the reason that is because you said this, I'm a second career designer, meaning I did not become a designer until later in life. And, everything happens for a reason, but I wonder what my path might have been if I were exposed to the creative arts or arts as a profession earlier on
Yes.
in my career. And so I believe it's my responsibility to at least bring awareness to this industry, Two people that look like me to young girls who may
Yes.
have grown up. I grew up in Philadelphia. I grew up in a public school system, so who may not have been exposed to arts careers, and let them know that you really could be what you would like to be. I mean, this is a girl who I can't draw. Like I literally was like, I like to decorate my house.
Yeah.
Let me explore it further.
Yeah.
And then, create a career from that. So I want to expose, and we do that through career days, and we do that through
Wonderful.
panel discussions and conversations, and hiring those that are in college or building that journey.
Great.
And then also just having children come and visit the office for a day and learn a day in the life of
That
a designer. So
is wonderful. And to see how the arts can
yeah,
be a business. I mean, it is a business. It's not like I remember even myself growing up, and I was exposed to a fair
yeah.
amount of arts, but my parents were scientists. They were PhD
Oh,
scientists and
wow.
attorneys that went back to law school in their 40s, like very
Yeah,
academic.
yeah,
And I was just not, I mean, I was smart, but I wasn't
right.
that. And so they had a lot of
Yeah,
fear around it too, like how do you
yeah,
make a living?
yeah.
But I think
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
I've always been creative, but and I was like, well, my parents said I got to go to college, so I'm going to
Which
go to
is good.
college. But what's the most creative degree that I can think of? And that's how I landed to
Marketing,
marketing.
right?
So,
Because it is very, and all the things that you're very good at,
yeah,
communication, creative vision, figuring out how to get things out there into the world and get people to notice them, right?
yep,
And
yep, for sure.
you're doing that in so many ways, but I really don't understand. Like when I read your credentials, I'm like, somebody explain how she has the time and the energy. And I know, like, you're also a fabulous mom. Your kids are a little older too, like mine.
Yeah,
So,
my babies are
how old are your
13 and 18.
13 and 18? I have a 19-year-old. He just went to college.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize you had a 19-year-old.
Yeah, he's my
So wait,
big,
okay. How are you doing, Mom? Because mine just went to college too,
really.
and that's been a little bit of an
He's
adjustment.
young.
He's yeah,
He.
he's on second semester now.
Oh my God, same.
Yep.
What school?
Morgan State University in Baltimore.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
where's your
He's
son
very
at?
close. He's an hour and a half away, which also isn't, you're not, Philly isn't too far from
No,
Baltimore. It's
we're
similar.
2 hours
Yeah.
max.
He's an hour and a half away at the College of New
Oh,
Jersey,
good.
which is an awesome state
Yes, it
school.
is. Yep.
We're very
Yep.
big on like try not to have too much debt. Like just go to
Hello.
a great school and
That's
like
right.
love it and do well. He loves it, but we
State
miss
school
him.
girl here, so
Same,
I totally understand. Yep.
same. And it's not. I mean, I get people. Some people have dreams. They've always dreamed of where they want to go to
Yeah.
college, and that's great. But for me, it was like I just wanted to get a great
Yep.
education and not be in debt too much. I left.
Makes sense.
But it's a journey. I mean, I think like any other journey, like changing careers, like you did, all of that stuff. It's a very weird feeling to have them be.
Yep.
They still need you. You're
Yep.
still helping them. You're mentoring them.
Yes.
You're mothering them, but you're not responsible for them daily. Like
It's so hard. I mean, he came home for the winter break, and I was like talking to my husband. I was like, wait a second. So you mean I can't enforce the strict curfew that I had when he was in college,
or
in high school, or like I have to trust that he's going to do the right thing?
but you
It's
also have to
hard.
like, okay,
Yep.
tell me if I'm crazy. Maybe
Yep.
I'm a mean mom. But like I also was like, I love you dearly, but like also there are some
Well,
rules because you're living here.
we have rules. I had to my husband, we're raised different, right? You figure it out along the way.
Yeah.
So
Oh
he was
yeah.
like, he's 18, he can do, and I was like, no, 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 no.
I still have to turn off the lights and set
Yeah,
the alarm.
yeah, that's right.
So
You got to
like,
be in this house at a time. It has to be a certain time.
at least let
So
me know
yeah,
what to expect here.
we just had to
Yeah.
adjust to this new normal with this very young
Totally.
adult.
This is so funny because we both live in cities, like urban areas
Yep.
where our kids are probably going to want to like move back in with us or something while they're
Yes.
getting on their
Yep.
feet.
Yep.
And it's so funny because my husband said, Noelle, this is why we can't have an adult living with us because it's too hard. Like we want things the way we want
Yep.
them. And we love him, but like, you
Yep.
know. So it's so funny to me. I'm like, well, they have a right to if we're fortunate enough to give them a few months to get on their feet after
Yes.
school, like
Yes.
he's allowed to come back, right, babe?
I know. I know. But he's doing well. College has been an adjustment,
Sure.
but I think it's just I'm very happy that he's like coming into his own person. So it's
Oh
great.
wait, now I remember because you did the dorm room.
Yes.
And
yep.
the irony is my son would not let me, like would not. I was allowed to buy, I bought like a comforter.
Yep.
That was
That's
the
it.
extent
Well,
of my allowed involvement.
back to being a parent. I was like, I have to do your dorm room because I have this sponsorship with Home Depot and it's an amazing opportunity.
But
And he was like kind of into it because he was
yeah,
like, he didn't care about what I picked. I was like, tell me what color you like, and that was it. But now he's like the cool room on campus. So yeah,
see,
he loves it.
he gets it.
Yep.
This speaks to all what I want to talk about next, which
Yeah.
we have like 5 minutes, but
Oh,
it's fine. We're gonna.
we're just chatting
This
away,
is what I
right?
like. I
Yeah.
like that people get to know
Yep.
you, and they're not just hearing design
That's
advice.
right.
It's like we want, and that's why I love to let designers and creatives talk about other things besides that sometimes, because that's
Yeah.
like what it's all about is getting to know you as a person. And a lot of what I want to talk to you about is your voice and how impactful your voice is, not only in your
Mm-hmm.
community in Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
but elsewhere. I mean, you're just part of so many things.
Right.
The book, if you want to just tell us
Wow.
a couple brief things about like the ways
Sure.
your voice is being heard, sponsorships, social media. I don't know how you do it all, but like just share a little bit with us about how, I guess, what your voice is and like
Yeah.
how excited you are about the different ways it's being presented.
Oh, that is a loaded
I
question.
know.
I
So
would,
sorry. Good
no,
luck.
it's all good. I would say my voice is ever evolving, right? Like, even as a designer, I think we're always evolving
Oh,
and trying to
sure.
find our aesthetic and what that is looks like and our culture as a company. But for me, my voice is that of I try to be authentic in both how we show up in terms of our design work, but also as a brand, as a company.
Hmm.
I try to be relatable or approachable, like attainable. Like
Attainable.
yes, I want people to know that we all can receive beautiful design done by a professional um, with investment and planning and things like that. It's not like something I never knew a designer growing up, like
It doesn't
never. What?
have to be that. I think that's because we're marketed to as though
Yeah,
everything's luxury,
yeah,
high end
yeah.
luxury, but there's
There's
attainable
a
luxury.
attainable luxury. Yep, I've been saying livable lux a lot
Yeah.
lately. You invest in the things that you need to invest in. Like,
Cars.
we do that in our design work. Yep. So, I think livable luxury or attainable design is something that's a part of our voice. I think, speaking to the everyday woman, like someone who is a busy professional who may or may not have children,
Right.
who wants their home to reflect who they are. Like, I think that's how we like to show up and meet them there. So, the book, I am so grateful to be a part of Iconic Home. Iconic Home is a collection of 50 um, Black and brown, I believe, designers or African American designers. It is a book that's been published by or created by June Reese of the Black Interior Designers Network.
Network, right.
Yes. And, June reached out a year and a half ago and she's like, I'm working on the book. And, Black Interior Designers Network is
Right.
collaborating with me on this. And we would like to feature some of your projects and you. And I did not realize at that time, I was like, of course,
Yeah.
sure, whatever you need. But I didn't realize at that time how much of an impact it would be on our industry.
Yes.
There is not a book out there that exists like this that showcase um, the Black interior
As a
design culture as a whole.
collaborative
Yeah,
too.
there isn't.
Yeah.
It is beautifully done. It
Yeah.
is on
I'm
Amazon if you
ordering
guys
it
haven't.
right
Yes,
after this.
it's very reasonably priced right now as well.
Wait, what's it called
Um,
again?
Iconic Home. Yep.
Iconic Home. Okay, great.
It's a coffee table book, a collection of Black designers and their work. We were asked a few questions so you get a little bit of
Get a
insight.
story. Hmm.
But I get it for all my clients. I am like so proud of this book, not only for our firm being featured, but we are in there with iconic
I know.
designers.
Iconic.
Like
And you
there
are an
are,
iconic designer.
thank you. But, to be in a book with, um, Daryl Carter or Elaine Griffin or Sheila
Yes.
Bridges is like, or Corey Damon Jenkins. That's mind
These are
blowing.
Arc
Um,
Digest
yes,
level,
yes,
like
yes. The
not
forward was
only
done
creators
by,
but also
that's
personalities. Yeah.
right. And the forward of the book was done by Architectural Digest editor. And so it's just an honor and to create a legacy in that way where our work will forever be in this book.
It's
I'm grateful to the
a
Black
huge.
Interior Designers Network and to June.
Oh, I'm so excited for you. There are about 5 of my friends in that book.
That's amazing.
Like, and I'm so
Yes.
excited. I think it's absolutely vital. It's a vital
Yeah.
voice, in an
Yeah.
underrepresented industry that's getting a lot better. But
Yep. Yep.
um,
Yeah, there's been progress. I mean, black interior designers are, I heard 1%, I heard 3%. Let's go with the
a
3%.
small
A
percentage right
small
now.
percentage of the industry, compared to 13% of the
Hmm.
population. So there is work to do, and I'm grateful for vehicles that show that.
Yes. Yes, and you are one of those vehicles. So just so you
Thank you.
know, I mean, as far as the impact you're making, it's wonderful to see. It's astonishing how you handle it. I do not understand. I will study you and try to find out
I
how you do it.
I don't study me, because some of my habits are unhealthy.
I want to know
I
about
you know
those.
I'm very passionate about what I do, and I understand what it's like to not be passionate about what you do and to
Right.
not be connected to your work. And I truly believe this is like ministry for me. Like, I
Yeah.
truly believe that changing someone's
Oh,
interiors or their home or their room changes their lives. So that fuels me even when it's difficult.
absolutely.
And I'm learning. I'm turning 42 this year.
All right.
And
Congrats. Welcome
thank
to
you.
getting higher up in your 40s.
Yes. And the older I get, the more I realize that, it's not about who works the hardest. It's about creating a life that you love. And so that is the next like leg of my personal journey, and making sure that I'm doing the work that I'm good at, that I'm a genius at, that I love, and delegating, or making sure that I don't want to
So
overwork. I don't want to burn out.
this is perfect segue into our final
Okay, good.
questions because this is what it's all about. This is what this part of what this not a podcast but kind of this live series is about is balance. That's why I end it. It's heart, home,
Yep.
harmony. Harmony is about balance. So I'd love to ask you my little questions.
Yes, please do.
What is warming your heart these days?
I wrote down my answers. Hold on.
Think about it. What was it?
I didn't want to misspeak.
I know. Well, no, it's true because you put thought into this. I give this to everyone ahead of time because it changes. It's evolving. Just like you talked
Yep.
about business is
Oh,
evolving, but you want to say it right.
I don't need
I
my
get
notes.
that.
We've already talked about it. What is on my heart these days is what I just said, is the idea of rest, um and the idea of just slowing down and enjoying the special moments, enjoying life. When your kid goes off to college and they're not home all the time, you're like, gosh,
It
things are moving fast.
it happens so
Yep.
fast.
So that's what's been on my heart,
Got it.
just making sure that I really enjoy life.
Yes, settle into those moments. I love
Yep.
that. So this must be a loaded question for you too. What is home meaning to you these days? Because
Oh,
one little one's not
yeah.
there.
Although he shoots down the highway like every other week. I'm like, you're home
Oh my
already?
gosh,
Um,
fun. Okay.
but he helped me to realize this. That home also, it means peace. I just said this to my husband the other day. I said, I'm so grateful that our home is peaceful, and this is like where we can go to get away from the world and to reset. So home means peace. It also means authenticity,
Mm,
which means like your home should reflect who you are, the things that matter, the things that make you smile. So that's what home means to me.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Hmm.
So, and how do these things, what creates a feeling of harmony in your life these days? What gives you that feeling of balance that you're looking for, that feeling of rest and that feeling of peace?
Okay, I didn't write the answer down, but I know.
Okay, you know it.
I know. Family and
Yeah.
friends. That's what's important to me. Family, friends, and living in purpose.
Yeah.
I'll add that in. So yeah, that just being around family and friends, quality time. Also, some alone time
Yes,
too.
that's so smart. Add that in.
We
Absolutely.
spend a lot of time talking to people and clients and contractors and vendors and team members. And so I do like to be intentional about my alone time so that I can show up for my family and friends in the way that's most
So
beneficial.
refreshing to hear because it's the truth is, as creative professionals, entrepreneurs, and
Yep.
communicators, and people who are achievers, You yourself especially, just amazing
You
achievements. It's
too,
probably
Noel.
hard for you to slow
Yeah.
down, like it's
Yeah.
probably hard because you do see the next
Yep.
thing, you see the next task, you see the
Yep.
next goal.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
that's great to hear that you're really
Yeah.
embracing that and acknowledging your need for that, and that this is a time in your life, like you said, where you're seeking it.
Yeah. I think it just makes me a better designer, a better
Yeah.
mom, a better wife, a better boss all around if I am balanced.
Right.
Whatever that looks like. There's no such thing as balance. But
Well, that's unfortunate because that's like my whole premise of my life is trying to
well,
seek it.
there's no
No, I'm
such
just
thing
kidding.
as perfect
Correct.
balance. Let's just say that.
Well, it's not the same for
No,
everyone,
and it
and it
changes, and it's not the same for
changes.
you each day. Every day it changes. But yeah, it's important so I can be the best
Yeah,
for the people I serve. So
absolutely. I love that, and you're serving. Okay. Um,
thank you.
show and tell
Yay!
is my favorite part because I feel like I go
Yes,
back to kindergarten with show and tell. Sometimes it's fancy, sometimes it's not. But what do you have for us that you just want to show
I
us?
am taking it back to grade school. Okay.
Yay!
So I was like, what do I show and tell? I don't know. But I'm going to show and tell what has sort of been the origin of me discovering who I am professionally as a designer. And so, where did this all start? And my earliest memory is I've always been creative and I have always done some sort of craft. And one craft that I remember that I held on to for quite some time is sewing. And so I'm not like a seamstress, but I do know how to use a needle, thread, and a
Yeah.
sewing machine. And so when I was, I don't know if it was 8 or 10, let's just say 8.
Okay.
I
Let's
made,
make it more impressive and say it
yes,
was 8.
I
You
made
made
this
that?
teddy bear, but it's also a book bag.
What?
So, Noelle, I think we're around the same age.
I
Do you
remember.
remember?
I
Yep,
remember.
teddy bear book bags. And so, my family, we grew up modest and
Yeah.
limited resources, and so could not buy me a teddy bear book bag. So I took a teddy bear, I took all the stuffing out of it,
Oh my
and
God.
I
Put a
think this
zipper
is
in.
like a purse strap or two. I put my own zipper in. I must have been 10. I don't know if I did this at 8.
Genius.
Let's say I was 10. And my parents, they were moving and downsizing a couple years ago, and they gave
They
this to me. They
found
were like,
him.
we still have this.
I
So
love
this
it.
hangs in my guest room slash office at home so that I can always remember where it all
The
started and
roots.
that I pursued my dreams of
You did.
now becoming an interior
And you
designer.
probably
So
never, like you said, would have thought. So here you are, merging brilliant businesses, creative minds. I love that. That is so precious.
thank you.
Rasheeda, you're a joy.
Thank you.
I hope I get to
Thank you
see
so
you
much.
soon.
Yes, thank you for having me. Listen,
Of
this is
course.
such a great series. It's like peeking
Thank
behind the scenes of
you.
interior
I
designers.
love it.
And good luck on everything. We got to get together soon because we're not too far apart.
Absolutely.
So,
And
yep.
I know we're sometimes in running
Yep.
up and down. So we will meet in the middle.
Yes.
Or I got to go to Philly and just
Or
check it out
we
because you have good
can
food
go
there and I'm a foodie. I need to go eat
come
at some place great.
to Philly or we can meet in the city in New
In
York.
the city
Either
is
way.
always great
Yep.
too. There's events coming up, so
Yes.
we will. I love talking to you. I love seeing you. I hope we get to see you soon. Thank you for joining me. And bye, everybody. I will read your comments. There was a lot of great comments. We had sorority sisters.
Totally could not
No,
see
it's
the comments. So,
okay.
all
No,
right.
it's okay. Mostly it was just people joining and enjoying it, saying it was inspiring and wonderful. And I thank them for joining us
Good.
too.
Are we able to save this, Noelle, at
I will
all?
I will save it. I don't know if I don't know if I can get the quotes or whatever,
Right.
but there's not that much. But I'll don't worry. This will be on
Oh,
YouTube too.
oh,
So I will
good.
be, and then I think you can download
All
it
right,
from there or whatever, but we'll figure it
let's
out.
do YouTube. Yep, that's perfect. Thank you so much,
Sounds good.
Noelle.
All right. Bye, everybody. Bye, Rasheeda.
Bye.